Hey, welcome back. In this video, we're going to look into Azure Storage. My name is Sushant Sutish, and I am your trainer for this AZ303 certification course. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Azure Storage is Microsoft's cloud storage solution for modern data storage scenarios. Azure Storage offers a massively scalable object store for data objects, a file system service for the cloud, a messaging store for reliable messaging, and a NoSQL store. Azure Storage is durable and highly available. Redundancy ensures that your data is safe in the event of transient hardware failures. And you can also opt to replicate data across data centers or geographical regions for additional protection from local catastrophe or natural disaster. Data replicated in this way remains highly available in the event of an unexpected outage, and Azure Storage is secure. All data written to Azure Storage is encrypted by the service, and Azure Storage provides you with fine-grained control over who has access to your data. And Azure Storage is scalable as well because Azure Storage is designed to be massively scaled to meet the data storage and performance need of today's applications. And Azure Storage is fully managed as well. Microsoft Azure handles hardware maintenance, updates, and critical issues for you. And finally, Azure Storage is accessible. Data in Azure is accessible from anywhere in the world over HTTP or HTTPS. And Microsoft provides lots of SDKs for Azure Storage in variety of languages like .NET, Java, Node.js, Python, PHP, Ruby, Go, and others. As well as you can use REST APIs to connect to Azure Storage as well. Let's look into three categories of Azure Storage. Azure Storage is a service that you can use to store files, messages, tables, and other types of information. So let's look at the three general categories where you would be using Azure Storage for. The first one is storage for your virtual machines. This includes disks and files. These disks are persistent block storage for Azure IaaS virtual machines, and these files are fully managed file shares in the cloud. Second, we have unstructured data. This includes blobs and data lake store. Blobs are highly scalable. And third category is structured data. This includes tables, and the tables are key value, auto-scaling NoSQL store. And general purpose storage account has two tiers, standard and premium. So what is standard? Standard storage accounts are backed by magnetic drives or known as HDD or hard disk. And this provides lowest cost per GB. And they are the best for applications that require bulk storage or where data is accessed infrequently. Second tier is premium tier. Premium storage accounts are backed by solid state drives or SSDs and offer consistent low latency performance. And they can only be used with Azure Virtual Machine Disk and are best for I/O intensive applications like databases. Please note that it is not possible to convert standard storage account to premium storage account or vice versa. You must create a new storage account with the desired type and copy data. Now let's look into the Azure Storage services. Azure Storage includes these data services, and each of which is addressed through a storage account. The first one is Azure Containers for blobs. This is massively scalable object store for text and binary data. It is mostly used for storage for virtual machine disk. Second one is Azure Files. This is a managed file share for cloud or on-premises deployment. Then we have Queues, which is a messaging store for reliable messaging between application components. And finally, we have Azure Tables. This is a NoSQL store for schemaless storage of unstructured data. Now let me take you to the Azure portal and show you where you can find these Azure storage services and how you can configure them. I'm on my Azure portal now. You can either search for Azure storage account or you can find on the left hand side or under Azure services. So I'm going to click on existing storage account. As you can see that I have a couple of storage accounts. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain you how you can create a brand new storage account. First, let's go through the basics. Select the subscription, create a new resource group, or select an existing resource group where you would like to host this storage account. You need to have a unique storage account name before it gets accepted, and pick a location where you would like to host it. And the performance tier is what I mentioned before. Standard gives you hard disk performance and premium gives you SSD performance. Account kind and replication, I will explain in detail in the coming slides. So right now I'm going to go with LRS, which gives me 3 copies in a local data center. And rest of the settings, I can leave it at default and I can click on create, review and create. So instead of doing that, I'm going to go to an existing storage account to show you how you can create a blob container, Azure files and other services. So I'm going to go inside an existing storage account. Under overview, if you scroll down, you would be able to find these 4 services: blobs, file share, tables, and queues. You can find detailed settings underneath the settings tab as well. First, let's look into containers. Containers are also known as blob storage. Azure Blob Storage is Microsoft's object storage solution for the cloud. And blob storage is optimized for storing massive amounts of unstructured data, such as text or binary data. And the blob storage is ideal for serving images or documents directly to your browser, storing files for distributed access, streaming video and audio, storing data for backup and restore, disaster recovery and archiving, and storing data for analysis by an on-premises or Azure hosted service. Second type is Azure Files. Azure Files enables you to set up a highly available network file share that can be accessed by using a standard server message block protocol, which is known as SMB protocol. That means that multiple VMs can share the same files with both read and write access. And these file shares can be used for many common scenarios. And this feature makes it easier to migrate those applications that share data to Azure. Creating a file share is quite simple. So you can basically go and create a file share name and assign a coda and select a tier for the performance and simply click on create. Once you create it, you can go inside the file share and click on connect. This gives you an ability to copy the script and basically run on your local PC. Not only PC, you can run it on a Linux and a Mac operating system as well. That gives you an SMB protocol mapped file share. Another kind of storage account is queue storage. An Azure queue service is used to store and retrieve messages. A queue messages can be up to 64 KB in size, and a queue can contain millions of messages. And queues are generally used to store list of messages to be processed asynchronously. And each part of this processing can be scaled separately, giving you more control when tuning it for your usage. Another kind is table storage. Azure Table Storage is now part of Azure Cosmos DB. In addition to the existing table storage service, there is a new Azure Cosmos DB table API offering that provides throughput optimized tables, global distribution, and automatic secondary indexes. So don't worry, I will take you through entire Cosmos DB table API in the coming episodes. Now let's look into the Azure storage account types. Azure storage account offers several types of storage accounts. Each type supports different features and has its own pricing model. So first one is blob storage. And blob only storage account use general purpose V2 accounts instead when possible. And general purpose V1 storage account is a legacy account type for blobs, files, queues, and table. And general purpose V2 storage account is recommended for most scenarios using Azure Storage. This again supports blob, files, queues, tables, and disk. And blob storage account is a blob only storage account with premium performance characteristics. This is recommended for scenarios with high transaction rates, using smaller object, or requiring consistency, low storage latency. And all storage accounts are encrypted using storage service encryption for data at rest. Data in Azure is replicated to ensure that it's always available even if a data center or regions becomes inaccessible or a specific piece of hardware fails. These include all of these redundancies. So let me explain it to you one by one. First, let's look into locally redundant storage or LRS. Locally redundant storage replicates data and stores three copies across fault domains or racks of hardware within a single data center facility in a region. And data is replicated so that if there is a hardware fault or maintenance work, your data is still available and accessible. And LRS offers 99.129% durability of data. Now let's look into ZRS or zone redundant storage. Zone redundant storage replicates your data across three storage clusters in a region, and each cluster is physically separated from the other two, which means that each cluster is supplied by separate utilities such as power or networking. If there is an outage in a data center, you can still access your data from another durability zone in that region. And data is normally replicated to 2 or 3 availability zones depending on the region. And an availability zone is a physical location that is made up of one or more data centers in a region. And there are typically 2 or 3 availability zones per region, where each availability zone is independent of other availability zones in the region. Now let's look into geographically redundant storage or GRS. Geographically redundant or geo-redundant storage provides multiple levels of replication, and your data is replicated 3 times within the primary region, and then this set is replicated to a secondary region. And GRS provides the highest level of durability. Because you finish with 6 copies of your data, such durability means that even if there is a data center failure or regional issue in the primary region, your data is always available. And if the primary region fails, Azure storage is still available in the secondary region. The next type is Read Access Geo-Redundant Storage or RAGRS. When you use RAGRS also replicates your data and object to a secondary region. When failover starts, DNS entries that point to the primary region are updated to point to the secondary region. And Microsoft currently controls the DNS failover process. So when you use RAGRS, you need to ensure that your application knows which endpoint it's interacting with. And the secondary region has secondary appended to the name of the endpoint. And RAGRS is ideal for applications which require high availability. That concludes this lesson. In the next episode, we're going to look into blob storage. I will see you on the next one. Until then, take care.